Today's guest is Whanganui comedian Richie Faavesi. Richie realised a few years ago that he was the funniest man in the room, so why not give stand-up comedy a go? He stormed the Whanganui comedy scene and quickly rose to the top. He's had quite a colourful past with smoking and tells us all about it. Don't forget, at the end of the episode, to fill out the survey for a chance to win a pair of Bose AirPods. Just click the link below.
Yeah, good, thank you.
Great, thank you so much for being on our podcast today.
Yeah, it's awesome to see you, man. So let's just get straight into it.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about, if you can remember, your first cigarette?
Yeah, I think I was about 9. Yeah,
Wow,
9
child.
years old. Yeah. Just one of the aunties left her cigarette in the ashtray, and then I got a bit curious, and then sort of had a.
Did you grow up around cigarettes? Did your parents smoke in your?
Yeah. I think back in the 80s, the family dynamic back then was there was a lot of cigarettes, alcohol, parties, but a lot of cigarettes, packets everywhere.
Yeah.
People smoking in your bedroom, people smoking in the kitchen. It wasn't a ban back then smoking anywhere. People smoking in the bank.
Right. Yeah.
Smoking in the car while we're driving. Smoking was everywhere.
Yeah.
Smoking in the bank.
They used to have those long ashtrays, at the bank, in front of the bank teller counter.
Wow.
Yeah, it's wild where ashtrays used to pop up. I think the funniest one is on the Air Chatham's flights.
Oh, you can still see the ashtrays.
Yeah. It's imagine sitting in an airplane smoking.
Well, even in McDonald's, I remember they used to have these little silver trays on the table with ashtrays.
Yeah.
So when you finish eating, you just pick your ashtray up and chuck it in the rubbish.
Yeah. I mean, and always, restaurant, smoking or non-smoking, and it just doesn't exist anymore. I was thinking about the bank too. It's just something that's just changed. No one even really goes to the bank anymore either, because you do a lot online. So it's just
You also spent a lot of time at the bank to have
Yeah. Now we have an ATM and ashtray.
But even the ashtrays on the plane, I'm pretty sure in movies I've seen, do you want to sit smoking, non-smoking on a plane? It's the plane is this big.
Yeah,
it's whether you
there
sit
is
smoking
no,
or not,
There's
you're
no non-smoking. It's just one big metal tube. There's no...
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you had your first cigarette at 9. Did you then keep smoking? Or, did anyone see you have that cigarette? Did you get in trouble?
No. So I had that. This was my first time ever, actually physically grabbed a cigarette and had it, and it was quite disgusting at first, but just being around it all the time, it was there's got to be something why people keep smoking, and maybe I haven't got to it yet, but I didn't. Yeah, probably a little bit later I tried it again, but not straight after. Yeah, at 9 years old, it kind of hurt my lungs and hurt my eyes, but no one caught me.
So when did you start smoking?
Well, I was hanging out with some of my cousins, and I was thinking about this before I was coming here. My auntie used to run a foster home, and there were some young kids there that used to jump the fence and smoke. But when me and my parents used to pull up to the house, you could see the driveway next door. They're all on that driveway smoking. And they were our age. Me and my cousin started following and started smoking. But we weren't hooked on it back then. It was an imagery thing. It was man, this is cool.
So what age was that then?
That was about 12, 13.
12,
yeah.
So do you have any funny stories about smoking?
Yeah. We were at so my parents used to play touch. Most of our family used to play touch rugby in Mount Wellington, Auckland, and they used to always drink afterwards. And we were me and my cousin found some smokes, and we went to the middle of the field, but we didn't know that our aunties had seen us walk past, and we went to the middle of the field in the dark, and all they reckon is they seen these two things glowing in the dark. And then we came back, and they said, give us a bit of a clip around the ears.
They thought you were being so careful.
Yeah. Another one is when we try to, those were tailor-mades. One of our uncles, he didn't have tailor-mades, he had rolls. Yeah. So we took some papers, took some rolls. Yeah, we didn't know what the heck was going on. How do you fold? We didn't even know that you had to lick it.
Right.
So we held it together and tried to smoke it like that. Yeah.
And how'd that go for you?
No, it was falling apart. And it wasn't as cool as the tailor-mades.
Yeah.
So we focused more on taking the tailor-mades.
Yeah.
So you mentioned you were smoking a little bit then, but you weren't regularly, like, did you become a regular smoker? And when did that happen?
Yeah. I did.
Yep.
Later on, I think I ended up in a boys' home when I was 14, and they gave the option of whether you smoke or not. Do you smoke? Yeah, I smoke. We'll give you a packet a week.
Whoa!
Yeah, this is done in Whakatane.
Wow!
And we were stealing smokes. When I was at home, when we got to this boys' home. They were giving us packets, and we're like, cool.
So, do you think they were doing that because they were like, you're going to do it anyway, so we may as well just...
Yeah. I think it saved a lot of theft, a lot of youth running away, to go and get smokes. And it did. It really, it really stopped a lot of things. From there, then this urge started growing on me around smoking. Not just the imagery thing anymore. It was, that strong urge of, I guess now I know the nicotine, the addiction of what was happening. Because when I come out of the boys' home, when I did run out of money or ran out of cigarettes or didn't have my own cigarettes, the urge and the frustration started kicking in, and then your mind starts thinking, oh man, I need some smokes. I should just go and steal some, or I should steal the old lady's smokes, or steal some money to go get some smokes,
Right.
So the addiction got a bit weird.
Yeah. Right. So it sort of started with, you kind of talked about, like, it started off kind of like it was cool.
It was
right.
Cool.
Yeah. Right. And what's cool about smoking?
Oh, I grew up, watching bloody Clint Eastwood movies,
right?
And Bruce Willis, Die Hard.
Yeah.
He used to make smoking look cool.
Yeah.
And even some of the music we used to listen to, music video clips and just seeing the cool uncles smoking, I really felt cool.
Yeah,
with the image of smoking, but also sort of got into the image of different brands. The different brands gave you a signature on what sort of person you were.
Ah.
Okay. All right. Hey, I'm picturing now like one of those Facebook quizzes, like what brand cigarette are you?
Good Christian Facebook game. Because when we used to see people that smoke Holidays or Horizons, you're broke, you're poor.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And on purpose, like when we had enough money to spare for a pack of cigarettes, or we were going to an event or a party, we would buy John Brandon 30s, the Marlboros.
Why are those like expensive?
Expensive, and we noticed that only fancy people would smoke those smokes.
Mm-hmm.
So when we would turn up to parties with the John Brandon 30s, and someone would say, "Can I bump a cigarette off you?" Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it felt cool to go, But really, they didn't know how, all the efforts we went through to rob places and all this sort of chaos. So,
what does it say about you if you smoke menthol? Isn't that the minty one?
Yeah, there was quite a classy, it was more like a woman's smoke.
Yeah, I feel like it.
And it sort of gave out that a woman takes care of herself, because she's worried about her breath or
because it's a cigarette and a mint.
Right, right. What a combination.
Yeah.
All right, so you sort of started thinking, oh yeah, it's cool, but then this kind of addiction sort of kicked in, and then did you try to quit? Have you tried to quit numerous times? Like, what's the? Did you get to a point then?
Yeah, well, back then, I did try and quit because I was a rugby league player.
Okay.
I played rugby league, and I did try and quit, but
like, what sort of age is this?
This is about 18, 19.
Oh, yeah.
But in the rugby league scene, there's always a drink up after the games.
Right.
There's always, and the parties went on for a couple of days, and when you drink, you feel like a cigarette, or, when you're in that atmosphere, you get triggered by just wanting to smoke. Or it was hard to give up smoking when it was all around you. It was everywhere.
Yeah.
It was on the movies, it was on the bloody ads on the TV. It was, it was in Auntie's car. It was just everywhere. The car used to have ashtray, and ashtray would be full of butts and smell it. It's amazing, that you don't smell those things anymore, but when you do,
it's quite a lot.
Yeah, it's like, do you smoke? But some people get offended, or they get ashamed. Oh, can you smell it? Can you smell it on me?
Yeah.
Back to giving up, but it was hard. All my friends smoked. My partner smoked. My parents smoked. Everyone, my whole community smoked.
So your catalyst for smoking was because you were playing sport and you wanted to.
Yeah, and it was. I could feel it in my fitness.
Mm-hmm.
It was affecting my lungs. It was affecting my match fitness on the field.
And were the other players smoking?
Yeah. There was a lot of people smoking.
Yeah.
But were any of them feeling like? Did you guys talk about it? And was anyone else?
No. It was like something you don't talk about. It was like, you smoke. That's your problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. because a lot of people was, even at rugby league training, people were smoking straight after the game. Some of the boys are coming up on the warm up or they're smoking.
Right.
Even the coach, two laps around the field. Yeah. So it was hard.
It's wild to think of now, eh?
Yeah. It was wild to think back then that the government said that New Zealand was going to be a smoke-free country in 2025. It was like, no way, that can't be true. 2020, it was like everyone started giving up smoking.
So you didn't manage to quit the first time, or you did, and then started smoking again? Or?
If I did, it would only be a day or two.
Yeah.
And then I'll feel sick.
Yeah. So then how did you manage to quit for good?
Well, one day I was sitting in prison. and you could have smokes in there.
Would they get you smokes?
No, you got to buy smokes.
You buy them.
But back then it was like 30 grams was $12.
Right.
Yeah. And
so you're back to rolling.
Yeah.
And you figured out you
could do it in my sleep, roll a whole packet. Yeah, just one day I felt really sick. Because it started leading up. There was a big lead up to when I had a cigarette in the morning. When I used to have a cigarette in the morning with my coffee, I used to feel like the greatest thing. It was like having a donut or something. But then as I got a little bit older, like towards 20, 23, 24, when I had a cigarette, it would just bring me right down. It just, I'll be stimulated, and then next minute I just feel depressed.
Okay. Yeah.
I just didn't. Yeah, it made me feel sick. And I'll gag sometimes when I smoke in the morning. But I'll try and get over that period, that morning period. Sounds like morning sickness.
In the last 3 months.
Yeah, I'll try and get over that.
Like you just got to get through it.
I'm going to get through it because I need to smoke. I know that I'll need to smoke later with the stresses of life. And then I was sick again, feeling that morning sickness. Feeling sick in the mornings, and I just try to give up. That wasn't easy either. I had a lot of tips from other people. Like I was asking people who were smoking, how do you quit smoking?
Right.
So I started asking people
And
that
they're
did
like,
it.
well.
Yeah. I'll let me tell you.
And I found someone that didn't smoke. That was in the prison unit I was in. And I said, hey, bro, how did you give up smoking? He goes, I haven't smoked in my life. But I ended up, someone said, just have a packet, just have some lollies on you, or do this or that.
You didn't think to ask for patches or?
No, not back then. No, I don't think there was. No, there was nothing like that. You did have a smoke-free lady that used to come and give you those sort of tips. Just try not to have any.
Just say no. Just say no.
Just go through the withdrawals. I think the advice they used to give back then was they'll ask you how much smokes you smoke a day. Try cutting down, having 3 smokes a day.
Right.
How many were you smoking in a day?
Must have been about 15 in a day. Yeah, I don't think
that's... How many's in a packet? 20?
20, 25.
Right.
Hey, so you weren't even up to
No, I wasn't. No, my wife was smoking packets a day.
Right.
Yeah.
And she's quit smoking?
She stopped smoking. Yeah, she stopped smoking cigarettes and picked up the vape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lots of people that we've spoken to have done that.
I don't know what's worse. I know that, health-wise, it's better for my wife. Now that it's not nicotine in the air or smoke, it's not going to stain the roof or whatever. They can smoke anywhere.
Right.
They can vape anywhere.
Yeah.
Vape on the toilet,
We've
vape in the room.
back,
Right. Vape at the back.
So a couple of mornings ago, I said to my wife, I'm going to go. I got up early, and I noticed that she was holding the pillow with a vape in her hand, still sleeping.
Oh wow! So she's sleeping with it.
Sleeping with a vape in her hand. That's
it's like your teddy,
it's her life source.
Yeah. His security blanket.
Okay, yeah. So going back to your quitting journey,
so you managed to from someone to say just don't do
it.
And there was no the vape wasn't there. The patch.
No.
Exactly.
I think I just held on to the fact that it makes me sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kind of.
So what age are you at this point?
About 22, 23.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And you quit then?
No.
Okay.
I stopped smoking. I stopped buying them.
Yeah. Some people have said that.
So I stopped for a little while because I got back into sports.
Are you still in prison at this point?
Yeah, and I got out of prison. I got back into sports, and then it was fighting the urge of drinking and smoking. And then I picked up a bloody drug habit. I was on meth.
Right.
And the smoking smoking started, and it was just double the doses. Yeah, and just started smoking again. It's funny because people say, did you ever smoke? And I said, only when I smoke meth. And they said, okay, how often did you smoke meth? Every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
So you're like, yeah.
Yeah. And they're like, so you smoked every day? No, I didn't smoke every day. I just only smoked when I smoked meth.
Yeah, so every day.
Yeah, I gave up meth about 2017. There was no need for me to smoke cigarettes anymore because I didn't have that urge, as much as I did. But at that time, I had a lot of help. Yeah, there was a lot of.
So you're like kind of getting off meth and smoking at the same time?
Well, I got off meth, but then I still had this urge to smoke cigarettes, and I was still smoking cigarettes afterwards because it was kind of a replacement for everything else. Yeah. But I stopped smoking weed as well. And then I thought, man, I need to blow something out of my mouth. Right. Inhale and exhale something. Yeah. So cigarettes was,
I'm surprised you didn't get on the vape then.
Well, I tried the vape. But it wasn't, because I like food and most of the vapes were like fruit. It was like eating a lolly.
Right.
Yeah. So then I started vaping with no nicotine in it. And it was just giving me a sore throat.
So you managed to get off with help, as in like patches or anything like that, or just
no, just support. Yeah. Okay. The right support. I came here too when I got to Wanganui.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I seen the boys here.
And they helped.
Yeah, because they were doing that thing where you blow and see how.
What was your
I can't remember, but it was pretty bad. Okay. It's quite a funny little gadget. You think, I'll blow this bloody little thing out,
and were you like,
out the water, and you
go, So was that the catalyst? Was that one of the did you hit rock bottom? How do you find these guys? What? Yeah.
Nah, just like I said, the imagery back then, it wasn't cool anymore.
Right.
The whole world started changing their look on smoking, and
Also, what about your kids? Did they come into it at all?
Yeah. I think when we look at what was a priority back then, smoking was up there. Getting our smokes sometimes before the kids, lunches or we had to, quite an ugly addiction, to tell the truth.
Do you ever, what would you say to someone who's quitting smoking, or what tips would you give them? If someone came to you and was like, because you've quit, what did you do? What should I do?
Ask for help, seek support,
Support's a big one.
Sort of gravitate towards people that have given up smoking, that had a smoking addiction for years. We have a lot of whānau that were smoking since it came out, since they were born, I guess.
Yeah.
And they smoked the whole way through and they've given up, but still have that sort of, I know someone that has counselling, over their smoking, because I think smoking replaced or became a comfort thing with not just the urges, but trauma, depression.
Yeah.
This smoking becomes.
So it's I'm not going to deal with those things. I'm just going to have a cigarette.
I want to have a cigarette.
Yeah.
It makes you feel good. And just thinking about it now, I used to think, man, I'm bored. Oh, hold on, I've got a cigarette. That's right.
Yeah.
And I've got a lighter. The whole.
Yeah. That's what Josh Thompson was saying.
Yeah.
Last week. He was like, you'd get out, be waiting at the airport.
Because before phones, smartphones.
Yeah. What do I do? I have a cigarette.
Yeah. There's always that.
Now I'm addicted to Instagram. So I don't smoke. But
it's like having that trump card in life, It's like, things are going wrong.
Right.
I have a cigarette.
Yeah.
Things are going right.
Yeah.
So, my advice would be, just, I guess, that consequential thinking about your kids, your health, financial, think about those things, especially with everything else going up, food, rent.
But I think you're right. I think seeking support is so important. You do not have to do it by yourself. Thank you so much for talking about it. That was awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you. Really inspirational stuff.
We hope you enjoyed that episode of Comedians Quitting. Please don't forget to fill out the survey in the link below for your chance to win a pair of Bose AirPods. Every episode listened to and every survey filled out is another chance to win.